live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's 3 quick stories you're seeing on social. Rapper Flo Rida. That's right. He won more than, that's so early for that. Won more than $82 million against Celsius energy drink following a breach of contract lawsuit.
Interesting. Well, you have a chance to go behind the scenes of a Queen concert. Yeah, the second season of a YouTube series called Queen the Greatest premieres today.
Wow.
It shows fans rare concert footage and exclusive interviews.
I love Queen. That'd
now,
be fascinating.
Queen, is that like the OG Queen or like the
probably the OG with Freddie Mercury.
Okay, because I was going to say.
Because that's all I would care about.
Yeah, I was going to say, not that I don't love me some Adam Lambert, but
he's not Freddie Mercury.
He's not Freddie Mercury.
And the ex-husband of Tiger King star Carol Baskins.
No, wait. Who's reporting this?
It says could be alive.
Okay.
Could be alive.
Nathan and I argued about it yesterday.
Baskin says he was found alive in Costa Rica. Don Lewis was declared legally dead in 2002 after disappearing a few years before.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the caveat. Local police said they have not actually heard from the feds.
And as we learned from Tiger King himself, Carol Baskin, we don't trust her.
Our top story this morning, a local hospital and Montgomery County Sheriff's Office teaming up to help end the opioid epidemic here in the Miami Valley.
Clara Faith joins us live in Dayton. Clara, what's happening later today?
We're here at Heaven Behavioral Hospital right here behind me, and later this morning nearly 30 vineyards will be lining up inside, and the goal is to show people struggling all type of ways to get help when it comes to substance abuse and mental health here in the Miami Valley. Connect resources focus on mental health, substance abuse, and legal aid. The Montgomery County Drug Free Coalition tells me they want to bring the overdose numbers down here in the Miami Valley.
Well, obviously, Montgomery County was ground zero for our opioid epidemic, and with COVID, I think there was a lot of focus on mental health needs. We're not just a resilient community dealing with addiction services, but we're offering also services for mental health.
Organizers say they also want to introduce Montgomery County deputies to people who may need their support. Reporting live in Dayton, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
The new Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is seeing a significant rise in call volume. Now, it launched 6 months ago and can be reached by dialing 988. Already, they've answered over 2 million calls, texts, and chats. The CEO says the increase is probably not due to the higher need, but because people have easier access to the services.
Now here's a look at some time-lapse video. My goodness, this storm came in like a wrecking ball yesterday. I'm going to tell you what. You can see the storm here. There it is.
It got nasty quick.
It did. That's what a wrecking ball is, Nathan.
I was just thinking about the Miley song. Came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh my God, that's the whole point of my comment.
It went over my head. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak for more.
What's going on? Like, you two like doing Miley Cyrus and you didn't invite me for the duet? All right, I see how it is. Here's the system yesterday. It was a relatively quick mover. It got in and out within a couple hours, and then we saw the sunshine break out. But I would say it was, 3 p.m. or so. It was sunny, it was warm, and then by 7 p.m. it was cold, and we are talking about colder weather overall. Temperatures this morning, low to mid-30s. In fact, a few of us have actually dipped below the freezing mark. If you're putting the kids on the bus this morning, cloudy skies with temperatures not budging too much. We are going to stay in the 30s all day today. So at this present point, it's going to be a much more return to winter, and it does look like it's going to last for a good long while. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, no major issues on 675, 70, or 75. 35-4 also looking clear, but a reminder, those roads are still wet as of right now.
I want to give you a live look this morning from Washington, D.C., where today thousands of pro-life advocates plan on taking over the National Mall for the annual March for Life. Now, this is the first march since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, giving the abortion issue back to the states. This year's theme is Next Steps Marching Forward into a Post-Roe America.
What happens when these unwanted children are born? Who will take care of them? We need to have ideas that are forward-facing, that take ideas from both sides of the aisle, because this issue isn't going away and affects women every single day.
You can't do good health without giving everyone an opportunity to access it. You can't have a country that can advance and be the model for the world when half of the population is denied care.
Now on Sunday, abortion advocates will be in Washington to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Roe decision. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court says it still doesn't know who leaked a draft opinion from the case reversing Roe. The court just released its investigative report. You'll remember back in May, Politico published the draft opinion from the Dobbs case nearly 2 months before the opinion was released. The report says the court should implement better policies in the handling of sensitive information.
This morning, a gunman in Indiana Walmart is now dead after a shootout with police. Officers responded to the active shooter call around 10 o'clock p.m. in Evansville. Now, they say the suspect shot at them several times. Officers fired back, killing him. Another person is now in the hospital. We don't know their condition at this time. Now, right now, authorities have not identified the suspect. The motive is still unclear. No officers were injured.
And a late night crash in Inglewood sends one person to the hospital when it happened on Lew Parkway. Inglewood police and fire responded. Crews took the person to Miami Valley Hospital North. We don't know their condition at this hour.
The Miamisburg City School District wants to hear from you. They're considering changes to the elementary school programming and redistricting. Dayton 24/7 Now's Gwyneth Falloon tells us more about those plans and the feedback the district has gotten so far.
The district has come up with 3 different plans, and 2 of those 3 plans involve a kindergarten-only building. The 1st through 5th graders would be moved around.
The rest of the students would be divided 1 through 5 in 6 buildings. And then the idea 2 would be still a kindergarten location, and then we would have grade banded. And those grade banded would be 3 grade banded that had students in grades 1 and 2, and then the other 3 buildings would have students in grades 3, 4, and 5.
The 3rd proposal is a complete redistricting, and at this time, none of those options would come at an additional cost to the district. So far, nothing has been finalized and will not be for another month or so. Superintendent Laura Blessing says they don't plan to make a decision until early March. Until then, she and other board members will continue to speak with her students and families to gather more feedback to make the best choice for her district. A full list of the upcoming public town hall meetings with dates and times can be found on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Miamisburg, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
We now know this morning actor Alec Baldwin is facing voluntary manslaughter charges for the deadly shooting on the set of his movie Rust. Now, the film's armorer, who's responsible for weapons on set, faces the same charges. Baldwin shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins during a rehearsal. If convicted, they both face up to 18 months behind bars and a $5,000 fine. Baldwin's attorney reiterated his innocence. He says Baldwin had no reason to believe a live round was in the prop gun, and they plan to fight the charges.
Approval for an experimental Alzheimer's treatment is now on hold. The USDA says it won't speed up approval for donanemab. The agency also wants more data from the drug's maker, Eli Lilly. Now, the Alzheimer's Association says patients in the drug's phase 2 trial showed a much slower decline in memory loss and daily function. Eli Lilly plans to file phase 3 data this year for full FDA approval.
And today, the Montgomery County Fatherhood Initiative's 2023 Fatherhood Summit is happening at Sinclair College. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, the goal is to help fathers strengthen relationships with their children, and that includes in-depth conversations about early childhood engagement, repairing relationships after incarceration, and much more. It's free and open to the public. We've got more information on our website, Dayton247now.com.
Our time right now is 5:08. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling.
He gave me a little side eye because I hiccuped.
Hiccup. It was at the bottom of your screen. I'm just messing with you.
Weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Is the era of remote work coming to an end? I'm Atrell Nashar with new data from LinkedIn suggesting employers are trying to take back some of the leverage they lost during the pandemic.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. It's worth pointing out that we are starting near the freezing mark. And unlike the last few times that we started near freezing and got into the upper 40s, we're just not going to warm up today by any stretch of the imagination. It's a much cooler air mass over us. And when you factor in the winds, it really does feel like it is winter. Right now, the max wind gusts around the area have been in the upper 30s. And when you look at the wind chills, a couple of these are down in the teens. So again, I stress to everybody, just because we've had a really warm, mild stretch does not mean that winter has come and gone. We're still going to see plenty of cold weather days. This I would just classify as just chilly for this time of year. 36 degrees or thereabouts. Flurries and light snow. Not enough snow to really accumulate across the area, but enough snow to make a little bit of a nuisance. And with the winds, it's going to definitely feel like the 20s all day. Now, as we get into tonight, mid-20s with some clearing. It could be a chilly morning for many of us, but some of us will get quite cold if we do get that clearing and it remains clear for more than just a little bit at a time. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with temperatures upper 30s. And forget about rain the next go around. We could be looking at snow across the area. And for the rest of the forecast, temperatures upper 30s and low 40s. Chances of snow across the area on Wednesday, and some of that could actually linger into Thursday as well. And roads are looking good this morning all across the board. Haven't seen any issues right now. 675, 75, 35 or 4.
Well, Microsoft is announcing layoffs of 10,000 employees. The overall labor market, though, remains extremely tight, but Microsoft isn't alone in preparing for a potential recession.
Dayton 24/7 Now's national correspondent Atra El-Nashar explains layoffs aren't the only way companies are getting ready for an economic slowdown.
The pandemic ushered in a new era of workers having the upper hand, job hopping, insisting on perks like working from home. While the number of open jobs still far outweighs the number of people looking for work, cracks seem to be forming in the leverage employees gained over the past 3 years. Microsoft, the latest tech giant to cut jobs, citing economic uncertainty. Just before the announcement, Microsoft CEO said this at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
At the end of the day, all of us are governed by what is happening in the world, inflation adjusted in terms of economic growth. So because no one can sort of defy gravity.
Amazon, Goldman Sachs among the latest to also cut jobs. More broadly, another cut employers are making is to remote work. Economists at LinkedIn like Guy Berger say the rate of remote job postings has been declining in recent months.
When the job market starts cooling a little bit, the pendulum starts swinging the other way.
The unemployment rate tied at a 50-year low of 3.5%, but wage growth and hiring has slowed.
Employers are saying, wait a second, if I don't have to offer it, I'm going to be much more judicious in terms of how I offer it.
Disney and Starbucks now requiring employees to spend more days in the office, but still not every day.
According to a recent survey by the Conference Board, only 5% of CEOs in the U.S. plan to make returning to the office a priority this year. Data suggesting the trend will initiate more of an equilibrium than a total loss of leverage for workers because there is still a massive labor shortage. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.
Our time right now is 5:17. In the words of Chester
so
the
mean
Cheetah,
to me.
it ain't easy being cheesy.
Cheese me!
Just ahead, we celebrate all things cheese.
My kid's favorite fruit. Food. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Out.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
All right, welcome to Pet of the Day, and this one I'm going to use my own dog for because Valkyrie had a little bit of a trouble day yesterday. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't heard, she's not a fan of storms. So whenever we do get any type of rain or wind, she likes to panic a little bit. So yesterday, not a good day for her. She was just scared all day, and frankly, even after the storms left, up until we went to bed, she'd hear that wind, which was howling, and get a little bit frightened. Now, for today, the winds are still going to be, let's say, 10, 20 miles per hour, gusts occasionally in the 30. But with the winds and the temperatures in the 30s, it's going to feel like the 20s at times. It is going to be quite cold out there. So Valkyrie and I will probably have some fun outside, but it may be limited to 10 minutes or so up until my hands start to go cold. Now, meanwhile, if you are going out this morning, again, it's chilly outside. No major issues on the highways. We still have some wet roads out there, so keep that in mind. I don't expect major issues when it comes to weather, but there could also be a couple flurries or light snow later on today.
Today's Number of the Day takes a look at the history of the number of the day. 1,513 numbers of the day have been published by Ballotpedia and Scott Rasmussen. The first number of the day was published on March 20th of 2017. I think I've read most of them. It has covered a wide range of topics related to politics, public opinion, sports, technology, and historical events.
Well, coming up this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, at farms across the country, a new feature is now dominating the landscape, replacing the familiar sight of cornfields and vast acres of soybeans. A sea of solar panels as a result of financial incentives using taxpayer funds. Farmers in the country's breadbasket are being convinced to switch from growing food to letting green energy manufacturers use the land. Now, the battle between food farms and solar farms is becoming the subject of much debate, with some worried the trend could threaten the food supply.
It just doesn't seem like a good solution to take some of our most productive agricultural lands, not even just in Wisconsin, but throughout the entire Midwest and the country, out of production.
Now, this week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson is off to Wisconsin to investigate both sides of the farming solar instead of food. Now, you can watch Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this Sunday at 7:30 in the morning right here on ABC 22, or at 10 over on our sister station, Fox 45.
The timing of meals may not have as big an impact on weight as once thought, according to a new study. The study tracked the portion sizes and the eating times of more than 500 people, in addition to data on their health and weight over 6 years. Now, the data showed no association between the interval of the day in which people had their meals and their weight. The study was published in the Journal of the American Heart Association. Well, according to recent research, persons with high levels of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder symptoms, are more likely to experience anxiety and depression than adults with high levels of autistic features. The finding comes from psychologists at the University of Bath in the UK. And human lifespans could be lengthened by an anti-aging jab within 5 years, according to researchers. The breakthrough study showed that the experimental therapy rejuvenated cells in mice, helping them live longer while reducing frailty and boosting heart and lung health. Harvard-backed anti-aging scientists hope the exciting findings will open the door for treating humans in the same way. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Well, grab the fondue set, order a pizza, or toast up a grilled cheese sandwich. That's my little one's favorite grilled cheese. Well, today we are celebrating all things cheesy, and I don't mean Nathan. Ouch! It is National Cheese Lovers Day. The earliest record of cheese dates back to 5500 BCE. I'm laughing because he was literally mid-yawn when I made that joke. And it's become a staple of Americans' diets. In fact, today is not only the day America celebrates cheese, there are over 19 cheese-specific holidays on the calendar. I'm not sure who's cheesier.
All I know,
Nathan or Nick, because I know Nathan, whenever he wants to make a stupid dad joke, has a smirk on his face. Nick just over
he's
here.
eating his breakfast.
Just eating not even like a slice. Oh, it's brie. Oh, brie is the bomb. I do love me some brie. But it's like a whole block of woohoo reduced price brie.
You are a sad man.
It stinks. Gross.
That's delicious.
It is delicious, but that's disgusting.
I mean, okay, so like of all the cheeses you could just just eat a chunk out of.
It was on sale.
This is right up there with some of the weirdest things you brought in.
And it stinks. You need to get away from me.
It'll be gone in 30 seconds.
You know what? That's coming from the gal who brings in hard-boiled eggs for breakfast, so I don't even want to hear that.
Well, just wait, Nathan, because my breakfast is coming up.
Yeah, I can't wait. Our time right now, 5:26, still to come.
Two organizations coming together to educate the community. I tell you how they're doing so.
And accused of kidnapping 2 babies, one woman is now set to return to Ohio. The new charges she's facing and when she's expected in the Buckeye State.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram is rolling out new features. The platform is adding a quiet mode. It's like a do not disturb that blocks notifications and messages when activated. Instagram is also giving users more control over the content you see by giving them an option to tap not interested. Next, Meta's new Accounts Center. It lets users manage settings for their Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger accounts all in one place. All your accounts are not added by default. You're going to have to do that manually, and you can remove any of them at any time. And coming soon to Samsung's Galaxy Watch, live stream video from Nest and Ring cameras. The Watch update will also include the ability to control more devices like smart air purifiers, thermostats, and blinds. It's expected to debut and within a few weeks. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
All right, team. We got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com.
Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint. For certain.
This cough.
This will help.
Vicks Vapor Rub?
Vicks Vapor Rub's medicated vapors go straight to the source of your cough, so you can relieve your cough to breathe easier. Vicks Vapor Rub. Fast-acting cough relief.
How did Kellogg's combine crunchy oat clusters with a touch of honey, plump, juicy raisins, and tasty fiber into one delicious cereal? It took a lot of brandstorming. Get it? Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch.
On ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's three stories you're seeing on social this morning. The music world remembering David Crosby of the Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash. He was 81 years old.
And say hello to the new oldest dog in the world. This is 23-year-old Spike, who's actually, this is the coolest part, from Preble County, where he lives with his human, Rita Kimball. Shout out to Spike and Rita.
Oh man, he's just so cute.
I know.
I love it.
No fat, no body.
And Australian park rangers were shocked when they discovered Toadzilla.
Oh my, that's bigger than Spike.
It's a giant cane toad that they found deep in the rainforest of Conway National Park. The 6-pound toad was actually removed because they say it is a threat to the ecosystem.
Oh, removed in like what? What did they do with him?
Prop. No, I'm just kidding.
So mean. Right now, the woman accused of kidnapping 2 babies from Columbus is heading back to Ohio today to face federal charges.
Nala Jackson's accused of stealing a car last month. 5-month-old twins, Kason and Kayer Thomas, were inside at the time. Police found Kayer was at Dayton International Airport hours later. Kason was found a few days later, still in the car in Indianapolis. Yesterday, Jackson was indicted on 2 counts of kidnapping of a minor. Each count is punishable by at least 20 years in prison.
In Carroll County, a 79-year-old woman and 59-year-old son were found dead inside their home. That was last month. Well, now investigators say it took over a year and a half for anyone to actually find the pair.
What was left in the refrigerator, we know the power was turned off August 24th by Carroll Electric for non-payment, and there was mail in the house, and that indicated it was somewhere around mid-June.
Now, Shelby Jean Roden and her son Jimmy were discovered by a teen boy who was out hunting near the secluded home. The Carroll County coroner has not released the cause of death yet. Since no next of kin, there we go, were found, it's up to their township to decide burial arrangements.
Storm damage last night left some cleaning up across the Miami Valley. You're taking a look at a tree that fell across Patterson Road in Dayton.
Now, the street was shut down for near Carillon Park as crews worked to remove the limbs. For a look at the weather this morning, which is much calmer out there, let's send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak.
Yeah, yesterday I was traveling Springboro Pike. I want to say it was about 5 p.m. and there was a tree across the southbound lanes, and when I actually went back, you could see the crews had started to cut it, move it away. Either way, it got truly windy out there. As for this morning, it is much cooler. Temperatures by about 10 to 15 degrees colder than this time 24 hours ago. Effectively, we've got some of us feeling like we're in the 20s. So you look at the bus stop forecast and you go, all right, mid-30s, not too bad. It does feel like the 20s. You're going to need to bundle up outside, and that does mean not just a jacket, but probably gloves and also a hat as well. As for the roads this morning, haven't seen any major issues, so at least we've got that going for us. But based on the fact that we could see a little bit of some flurries or light snow, you may want to just give yourself some time later on today.
Haven Behavioral Hospital is now teaming up with local law enforcement to help with the opioid crisis in our area. Now, they want to connect people with the resources they need.
Clara Faith joins us live from there. And Clara, why is events like this so important?
I'm here at Haven Behavioral Hospital of Dayton, and they tell me they want to help by educating people in the Miami Valley. Today's event will feature 30 vendors connecting people to resources they need to help in addiction. Their focus will be mental health and substance abuse. Haven Behavioral Hospital says stopping the crisis from happening is just as important as treating it.
Well, because we're a crisis stabilization hospital, we see a lot of people come through in a crisis. So these other resources are ones that can help that before the crisis even happens.
There will be insurance, sign up, legal aid, and more community resources for residents. The Connect event starting this morning at 9 a.m. and is open and free to the public. Reporting live in Dayton, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Centerville police taking to Twitter to warn against a new local phone scam. They say they've received several reports of someone posing as a Centerville officer. The caller ID lists the Centerville Police Department, and the person calling calls themselves Maria and provides badge number 113. Now, if you get a call like this, officers say you should not engage and hang up immediately.
And veterans in Ohio will no longer be able to use their veteran ID card as identification when voting. This comes after Governor Mike DeWine signed House Bill 458 earlier this month. The bill takes effect in 90 days. And now we are hearing feedback. Brandon McLean launched the free veteran identification card program back in 2018. He's a veteran himself. He says this will hurt veterans who we should be protecting. He intends to voice concerns to local legislators.
T-Mobile now says a hacker stole personal information from over 37 million of its customers. The company revealed the breach yesterday, but it happened in November and includes data like usernames, addresses, phone numbers, and dates of birth, but not credit card information or social security numbers. T-Mobile is in the process of notifying the people affected.
And a local nonprofit is right now in the national spotlight. Local food pantry With God's Grace is being featured on the American Dream Selling Dayton. It's a pretty cool thing. The food pantry started in the back of founder Nicole Adkins' home and has a lot of growth thanks to community support. Now, when their episode airs, of course, we will let you know on our air and online as soon as possible.
Excitement building as the Bengals continue their playoff run this Sunday in Buffalo. The game's expected to be a celebration of how these two cities came together after Damar Hamlin's cardiac arrest.
Now, the hashtag Pray for Damar started trending almost as soon as Damar collapsed on the field in Cincinnati. And now new research shows those prayers and support we all rallied to give Damar and his family may have helped our own health as well. New study shows people of faith have longer, happier, healthier lives. In this study, researchers compared more than 1,000 people who identified with a faith or religion and those who did not. They found people affiliated with some kind of faith lived nearly 6 to 10 years longer than those who did not. As health habits go, that's as good as not smoking or even keeping your blood pressure down.
It's unclear if Hamlin will be at Highmark Stadium to watch the game live Sunday. The Bengals and Bills will kick off at 3 for a trip to the AFC Championship game.
And our time right now, 5:38 this morning. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Well, stepping into action for a person in need. Just ahead, Adam Arrow highlights a few co-workers who came together to become hometown heroes.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. It is a morning where there could be a couple of snow showers across the area. I do think as we get into later today, particularly, let's say, early parts of the afternoon, there could be a couple of snow showers or flurries. Overnight tonight, mix of clouds and clear skies. It's worth pointing out that if we do see some clear skies and they remain, we could see a couple temperatures down in the low 20s. I think by and large will be mid-upper 20s, but you get the idea. Tomorrow, we will be looking at a mix of sun and clouds. That will eventually give way to a Sunday where it's not just a mix of sun and clouds, it's the potential for snow. And I don't necessarily think that this is a major system. We're not talking about a ton of snow, but there could be measurable snow, meaning an inch, inch and a half, before this may switch over to rain. So consider early parts of Sunday morning if you're heading out to church, if you're heading out to brunch, maybe going to visit some of your family or friends. There could be some snow on the ground, but this morning, no snow. It's just a colder start.
A trio of Kettering Health employees helping a patient in great need. Now, none of the employees are doctors or nurses, but their actions helped give that patient a chance.
Adam Merrill shows us why they're all hometown heroes.
This is Jennifer Denlinger, Gloria Jackson, and Heather Halcomb. They're all front office specialists at Kettering Health Oxford Health Center. Recently, they say a man was having a medical emergency, thought the center was an emergency room or urgent care. So he pulled in, explained to the women he was extremely short of breath, had recently fallen off a cliff and was feeling lightheaded and dizzy, also had a history of a collapsed lung. So these women immediately jumped in to help. Heather took his information, Jennifer called 911, and Gloria alerted clinical staff of the situation. Kettering Health tells us because of their quick action and teamwork, that patient was stabilized by clinical staff until EMS arrived. They stayed with that patient, asking questions, offering to contact loved ones, and ensuring his vehicle would be safe in the parking lot. Kettering Health calls them heroes, and I agree. Thank you to all three of you for your service and for being hometown heroes.
Well, if you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan that QR code.
You can chime in your submission through our app. We just need a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
Our time right now, 5:43. Exciting news for a Springfield native. Just ahead, the newest addition for John Legend and Chrissy Teigen.
Yep. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Great Great news. Chrissy Teigen via Instagram announced the addition of a new baby girl to her family with husband and Springfield native John Legend. I saw it. She's so cute. Her name, Esty Maxine Stevens. Stevens is Legend's legal surname. Esty joins siblings Luna and Miles in the family of 5. Teigen and Legend have been married since 2013, and after meeting on the set of one of his music videos, she lost a pregnancy in 2020. You might remember that, and wrote about it in an emotional essay. Now, the cookbook author says that her house is full of love, and the family could not be happier.
Instagram's rolling out a new feature, Quiet Mode. It's meant to help users focus and set boundaries with.
Feature here?
Nope.
Can I have that
with
feature
friends
here,
and
please,
followers. You probably just already unfollowed me like months ago or something.
No,
when the feature is turned on, in the newsroom, no. When the feature is turned on, notifications will be paused and the profile's activity status will stay in quiet mode. If someone sends the user a direct message, Instagram will send an auto reply telling the sender quiet mode is on. The platform's also updating its parental supervision tools. When a teen updates a setting, parents can receive a notification of the change. Parents will also be able to view any accounts their teen is blocked.
I'm going to be on quiet mode. Let's see how Elise does with this. She could do weather, right? That's how it works. We are looking at right now a couple snow showers across the Great Lakes. Notice how they're coming in off of Lake Michigan. So eventually they may drop their way far south as us. Now, I don't really expect a whole lot. I wouldn't even expect to see any type of accumulation. Meanwhile, Sunday, I do expect some chance of accumulation. Early on in the day, we will see that snow. I think it'll be more snow showers than just flurries. I think as we get in the second half of the day, it may switch over to rain. Now, same on Wednesday, but this system has a little more potency, or at least it has the potential for a little more potency. Now, what does that mean for us? Now, obviously, you can see where the rain snow line is, but wherever just to the north, that could be some heavy snow. Right now, a couple of models have us in the heavy snow. Others have us more rain. Some of us just in light snow. So again, something we'll watch. Either way, I think on Thursday, we could still see a couple of wraparound snow showers, and some of those can even continue into parts of the weekend. Meanwhile, temperatures. Obviously, with all this snow in a forecast, a lot can be said about, okay, we're actually almost winter-like. Temperatures mid to upper 30s as we go throughout the next few days. We're really not looking at any type of heavy-duty temperature changes, meaning 30-degree temperature swings. Instead, it's all little subtle 5-degree or so swings, and the overnights will be, generally speaking, above average with highs, or rather lows, mid to upper 20s and low 30s. Meanwhile, no major issues on the roads this morning. If you are traveling, the roads are wet. Give yourself a little bit of extra time in and around the bus stops, but we're not expecting any type of major ordeals when it comes to weather.
All right, our time, 5:49. Extra cheese, please. A pizza giant trying to break a pizza record. Just ahead, the big bacon. Who ate the massive pie? I think I know who it was.
It was me. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a small town secret hero, Hody Childress, known for his humility and kindness. But what people didn't realize is for nearly a decade, he was also donating $100 a month to the local pharmacy to help neighbors in need when they couldn't afford their own medicine.
He handed me a bill and it was folded up. I couldn't see what it was. He just said, the next time that happens, I want you to use this to help them out, and I want it to be anonymous.
Brooke Walker, the owner and pharmacist at Geraldine Drugs, saw firsthand how Hody's generosity helped so many people, and he almost took his secret with him, only revealing it to his children shortly before he died.
It wasn't surprising. There's more to Daddy than this one story. Daddy done a lot for everybody.
It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories, but I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio. It is cold out here, and it's cold enough that what I'm seeing is the process of little, basically snow crystals forming almost right on the ground. Now, I can't really see that high up, but right now I'm assuming, just based on radar and everything else, that these are, generally speaking, just a little bit of ice crystals that are falling. It's nothing that's going to impact your morning, but it is noteworthy that it is quite cold. It's cold enough that temperatures right now feel like they are in the 20s, and even we had a couple of teens, including Wapakoneta right now, that's at 19 degrees. So if you're putting kids on the bus, here's what you need to know. It is cold outside. You're going to need a jacket, a hat, a glove, perhaps even a scarf or something to keep your neck warm, because again, it is quite a bit colder than we have seen, and that's mainly due to the fact that temperatures have fallen into the 30s, and at the same time, these winds are 10 to 20 miles per hour, and every once in a while, you'll get a gust that'll make things feel even colder.
You won't be able to link your favorite charity to your Amazon purchases much longer. The retailer is closing down its Smile charity donation program next month. According to the company, the size of the list is the main problem. Though the program has donated $500 million in the last 10 years, Amazon says the average charity has received less than $230. Amazon said charities enrolled in the program will get a one-time donation equivalent to 3 months of what they earned in 2022 before the program ends.
Well, New York style pizza is big, but this takes it to a whole new level. Pizza Hut earlier this week trying to create the world's largest pizza. Yeah, they're really just trying to make us talk about them. Workers covered much of the LA Convention Center floor. Oh, that doesn't sound good. With more than 14,000 square feet of dough, sauce, and cheese. It was so big they had to bake it in sections. Later, the pizza was then donated to several charities. That sounds terrible. They ate pizza off the floor. The event celebrated the return of the big New Yorker to Pizza Hut's menu. No word yet from Guinness if they certify the pizza as the world's largest. But the current record is 13,000 square feet of pizza made in Italy back in 2012.
That's just weird. An Argentinian farmer.
Eat it off the floor?
I would eat it off the floor.
Actually, 5-second rule.
Exactly.
Right?
An Argentinian farmer is celebrating Lionel Messi's World Cup win in a big way. It's corn. Check out this enormous 124-acre image of the soccer star. He was in a cornfield outside of Cordoba. Now, corn kernels were sown using an algorithm that calculated where they should be planted to create Lionel Messi's bearded face. Not only is Argentina the world soccer champion, it is also the third largest exporter of corn in the world. I wish this was just like a crop circle so we can blame it on aliens. That's interesting.
You're so stupid.
It's like they're sending the signal for the best soccer player in the world. Get it? Yeah, boo. Anyway, point of it is why do people do that with cornfields? Like they'll do like a Lionel Messi or they'll do a face. I like just a good old-fashioned corn maze. You know what I mean? Have some
We
fun
actually
with
have
it.
a great corn maze.
Are you trying to get me lost?
New Paris, right?
New Paris. No, they do a great every single year. It's amazing.
I'll have to go check it out, but
Yeah.
then again, I'd be lost for like 18 days.
That's okay.
I come out with like a 7-Eleven Slurpee, like, I don't
It's
know
all
what
right.
happened,
We
but...
got you. We'll find
Then
you
we think
eventually.
you're like the alien from Signs. You just emerge. And there's lots of water everywhere. We don't know.
What was the line? It's behind.
Exactly,
It's behind.
Yeah. Oh boy, we got a lot more coming
I
up
don't
on
know what you're
ABC
talking
22.
about.
You need to watch some movies at least. ABC 22 in the morning at 6.
2 local organizations are coming together to educate the community. I tell you how they're doing so.
Alec Baldwin looking at charges for the tragedy on the set of his movie Rust. At 6 o'clock, Josh Campbell looks at the case and what the star is facing.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's 3 quick stories you're seeing on social. Rapper Flo Rida. That's right. No, I mean that's more your entrance, right? Won more than $82 million against Celsius Energy Drink.
Somebody
following a breach
may
of
not
contract
survive
lawsuit.
on this Friday morning.
No.
And you got a chance to go behind the scenes of a Queen concert. Now, the second season of a YouTube series called Queen the Greatest premieres today. It shows fans rare concert footage and exclusive interviews.
That's pretty sweet.
It is, actually.
And the ex-husband of the Tiger King star,
Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins, could be alive. Baskins says he was found alive in Costa Rica.
Baskin says.
Yes.
Just
Don
saying.
Lewis was declared legally dead in 2002 after disappearing a few years before. And
I don't believe it.
Tiger King said, she put sardine oil on him and fed him to the tigers.
I mean, she.
But apparently he's alive.
We'll find out, I guess. We'll find out, I guess.
Want video evidence.
Yes. And now to our top story this morning. A local hospital and Montgomery County Sheriff's Office teaming up to help end the opioid epidemic here in the Miami Valley.
Clara Faith joins us live in Dayton. And Clara, what's happening later today?
We're here at Heaven Behavioral Hospital of Dayton, and later this morning, nearly 30 vineyards will be lined up inside of that building to educate and connect with residents in the Miami Valley area. Today's event is called Connect Resources. This is to help attendees find resources from mental health and substance abuse to legal aid. The Montgomery County Drug Free Coalition says they want to continue to bring the overdose numbers down here in the Miami Valley with drug prevention.
Well, obviously, Montgomery County was ground zero for our opioid epidemic, and with COVID, I think there was a lot of focus on mental health needs. We're not just a resilient community dealing with addiction services, but we're offering also services for mental health.
Organizers say they also want to introduce Montgomery County deputies to people to help who may need support. Reporting live in Dayton, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
The new Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is seeing a significant rise in call volume. It launched 6 months ago and can be reached by dialing 988. Already they've answered over 2 million calls, texts, and chats. The CEO says the increase is probably not due to higher need, but because people have easier access to service.
And here's a look this morning of time-lapse video from Dayton last night as those storms rolled in. I'll tell you what, you could really hear that wind howling as they came through.
The sky's got awfully wicked.
I know, crazy.
Let's send it over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak. And Nick, what are we seeing today?
Well, by and large, it's a lot more benign. However, we're still dealing with some wind outside as this whole low continues to exit out of the area. Effectively, what you saw yesterday was some really gusty winds. There wasn't a lot of thunder, at least where I was, but I know there was some thunderstorms in and around the area, including one that did end up with a severe warning on it, I think just due to the fact that it was carrying with it some really hefty winds. Meanwhile, as the winds have subsided somewhat, so have temperatures. We're dropping all the way into the low 30s. A couple of us still in the mid 30s, but this is by and large a colder day overall with these wind chills in the teens and 20s. If you're putting the kids on the bus, a reminder that the temperature you see, mid 30s, is going to feel 10 degrees colder due to those winds. So it is going to be a much more, I would say, return to winter scenario when it comes to temperatures for today. And in parts during the weekend, we could actually see some snow. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about the roads this morning. We are looking at a decent morning commute weather-wise. The roads are wet, but again, a little bit of a breeze outside. I don't expect major issues when it comes to weather later on, despite a few flurries.
And taking a live look this morning from Washington, D.C., where today thousands of pro-life advocates plan on taking over the National Mall for the annual March for Life. This is the first march since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, giving the abortion issue back to the states. Now, this year's theme is Next Steps, Marching Forward into a Post-Roe America.
What happens when these unwanted children are born? Who will take care of them? We need to have ideas that are forward-facing, that take ideas from both sides of the aisle, because this issue isn't going away and affects women every single day.
You can't do good health without giving everyone an opportunity to access it. You can't have a country that can advance and be the model for the world when half of the population is denied care.
Now, on Sunday, abortion advocates will be in Washington to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Roe decision. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court says it still doesn't know who leaked a draft opinion from the case reversing Roe. The court just released its investigative report. You might remember back in May, Politico published the draft opinion from the Dobbs case nearly 2 months before the opinion was actually released. Now, the report says the court should implement better policies in the handling of sensitive information.
This morning, a gunman in an Indiana Walmart is now dead after a shootout with police. Officers responded to the active shooting call around 10 p.m. in Evansville. They say the suspect shot at them several times. Officers fired back, killing him. Now, another person's now in the hospital. We don't know their condition at this time. Authorities haven't identified the suspect. The motive is still unclear. No officers were injured.
A late night crash in Inglewood sends one person to the hospital. Now, it happened on Lau Parkway. Inglewood police and fire responded. Crews took that person to Miami Valley Hospital North. We don't know their condition just yet.
The Miamisburg City School District wants to hear from you. They're considering changes to elementary school programming and redistricting. Dayton 24/7 Now's Gwyneth Falloon tells us more about these plans and the feedback the district has gotten so far.
The district has come up with 3 different plans, and 2 of those 3 plans involve a kindergarten-only building. The 1st through 5th graders would be moved around.
The rest of the students would be divided 1 through 5 in 6 buildings. And then the idea 2 would be still a kindergarten location, and then we would have grade banded. And those grade banded would be 3 grade banded that had students in grades 1 and 2, and then the other 3 buildings would have students in grades 3, 4, and 5.
The 3rd proposal is a complete redistricting, and at this time, none of those options would come at an additional cost to the district. So far, nothing has been finalized and will not be for another month or so. Superintendent Laura Blessing says they don't plan to make a decision until early March. Until then, she and other board members will continue to speak with her students and families to gather more feedback to make the best choice for her district. A full list of the upcoming public town hall meetings with dates and times can be found on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Miamisburg, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Well, today, the Montgomery County Fatherhood Initiative's 2023 Fatherhood Summit is happening at Sinclair College. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The goal, of course, is to help fathers strengthen relationships with their children. That includes in-depth conversations about early childhood engagement, repairing relationships after incarceration, and more. It is free and open to the public. We've got more information on our website, Dayton247now.com.
Our time right now is 6:08. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Your weather, of course, on this side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Instagram introducing new features, what parents will now be provided, and how the social media app plans to protect young users.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
Quiet. We are looking at right now a quiet morning. Temperatures are going to be in the low 30s, and with it, we are going to be dealing with a couple of flurries or areas of light snow. I don't think this is the type of scenario where we're going to pick up measurable snow, so not even, let's say, half or 3/4 of an inch. Instead, what you may get is just a pocket or two where it comes down a little bit heavier, starts to stick to some of the cars, perhaps maybe just a little bit of the higher grass outside, not even the grass that is next to the ground. Meanwhile, for tomorrow morning, mixture of clouds and clear skies. Colder start to the day tomorrow, but it ends up being within a few degrees of today, generally speaking, a few degrees warmer. Sunday, more snow and measurable snow is possible. However, this is not the type of system that's going to bring us much of the way of measurable snow, maybe just an inch or so. Out the door today, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 30s. We aren't going to expect too much issues when it comes to traffic, although, anytime you do get snow and wet roads, there could be a couple of slower spots around town, so just keep that in mind this morning. But as of right now, no major issues.
Our time right now is 6:12. Alec Baldwin looking at charges for the tragedy on the set of his movie Rust. Just ahead, Josh Campbell looks at the case and what the star is now facing.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
A stunning twist to the Rust movie set tragedy. Prosecutors in New Mexico say they're going to charge the film star and producer, Alec Baldwin, with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
Josh Campbell reports Baldwin is feeling blindsided by the criminal charges he now faces more than a year after a movie rehearsal turned deadly.
Set in the Old West, Russ was filming outside of Santa Fe. Baldwin and crew members were rehearsing a scene inside a church when a prop gun in the actor's hand discharged.
We have 2 injuries from a movie gun shot,
Killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza.
This was a really fast and loose set that nobody was doing their job. There were 3 people that if they had done their job that day, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. And that's David Halls, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, and Alec Baldwin.
Assistant Director Dave Halls, who handed Baldwin the gun, has already pleaded guilty to negligent use of a deadly weapon. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed served as the armorer and props assistant. Baldwin has repeatedly claimed that he pulled back the gun's hammer as far as he could without cocking the gun and released the hammer, telling CNN and others,
"Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger."
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
District Attorney Mary Carmack-Altwies disagrees.
Every person that handles a gun has a duty to make sure that if they are going to handle that gun, point it at someone and pull the trigger, that it is not going to fire a projectile and kill someone. An actor doesn't get a free pass just because they're an actor.
I was the one holding the gun, yeah.
Safety expert Steve Wolf has a theory as to why Baldwin says he didn't pull the trigger.
If your finger is on the trigger and you're not aware that you're pressing it and you pull the hammer back and release it, the gun will also fire. And I believe that that's why he's saying he didn't press the trigger.
Baldwin's attorney says he will fight the charges, calling the decision a miscarriage of justice. And Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. An attorney for Gutierrez-Reed calls the charges wrong and believes the armorer will be found not guilty by a jury and she did not commit manslaughter. She has been emotional about the tragedy, but has committed no crime.
It's not clear to me that there's criminal liability here. Given all the circumstances, I'm not seeing that. I'm really looking forward to what they are going to prove because this is an aggressive charge and I'm not sure they have it.
Good morning. We are looking at temperatures some 15 degrees or thereabouts colder than this time 24 hours ago. There are some of us that have not just gotten cool, but even below the freezing mark, which, you know, for this time of year isn't unusual. But considering our January has been on track to be the second warmest, this has been a little bit more unusual. As for wind speeds, 15 to 20 miles per hour, there have been some gusts into the 30s. So effectively, it does feel like the teens in spots. Every once in a while, you'll see Greenville, Richmond, Wapakoneta have dipped into the teens. So far, Dayton has remained in the mid-20s. Again, that's what it feels like outside. Today, we're getting up to the mid-30s with the wind. It'll feel like the 20s all day. Speaking of 20s, down into the 20s overnight. Tomorrow will be upper 30s, perhaps even 40. I think it really depends on the winds, how much of that southern breeze can we get the warmer air in, and also the sunshine. Sunshine does play a big role in how warm we could get. Sunday, another chance of snow. I don't think it's the type of snow that we're going to have major problems, but there could be perhaps enough that it does measure up. Beyond Sunday, we are looking at temperatures remaining at or just slightly, and I do mean ever so slightly above average. We will see more chances of wet weather, including some snow Wednesday into Thursday. Meanwhile, on our roads, it's still a little bit on the wet side outside, still a touch breezy, but we're not expecting any major issues when it comes to weather. As for Columbus, let's check in and see what's going on there.
Good morning. On this Friday, things are picking up a little bit, and we're seeing that early on we do have some folks working their way in those 70 east and westbound lanes. Now, for folks that are working their way towards us this morning, you can see out here in Madison County, we are looking good. We do have folks that are out and about. We also are seeing right here by Hilliard-Rome Road that things are also looking good, but picking up just a little bit early on. That entire stretch, though, nothing to worry about there. No construction or accidents or anything that's going to slow you down. We're seeing the same thing right around the outer belt. If you're going to be popping up to the north, maybe you're going towards Dublin this morning, things are also moving freely. Heading into downtown Columbus, continuing to do so with ease right now. 315-71 also in good shape if you have to work your way north, and heading over here by the airport exit, 670 also looks good. Hopefully it's an easy Friday morning commute for you and you have a great weekend. I'm Katie McKee with your Triple Team Traffic.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a prominent leader in business education is retiring, leaving behind a 35-year legacy in the Miami Valley. Tom Trainer, dean of the Raj Soin College of Business at Wright State University, will retire at the end of May. Trainer says he's proud of the positive impact his graduates have had in the region, on Ohio and beyond. Now he says he's been planning his retirement with his wife for many years. They're now planning to travel. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com. Click on the news tab and select Dayton Business Journal.
Well, Instagram's rolling out a new feature. It's called Quiet Mode, and it's meant to help users focus and set boundaries with friends and followers. Can I get that mode in the studio? I'm just saying. When the feature is turned on, notifications will be paused, so that means Nathan would be silent. And Profile's activity status will say in quiet mode. If someone sends the user a direct message, Instagram will send an auto reply telling the sender quiet mode is on. Oh my God, this is so perfect. The platform also updating its parental supervision tools. When a teen updates a setting, parents can receive a notification of the change. Parents will also be able to view any accounts that their teen has blocked. Interesting.
You know what, Nick? I think it's about time to start talking about smoked meat this morning. Lisa's favorite topic in the morning.
Quiet mode is on.
No, it's not. The quiet mode is not on.
Quiet mode is on.
You cannot silence me.
I
Time now.
can ignore you.
Yeah. What's new? 6:22 is our time right now. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Just ahead, digital producer Max stops by with your Facebook poll question.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Time for today's pet of the day, and we're going to go with the Valkyrie, a.k.a. the Valkybeast yesterday. She was not happy at any stage of yesterday between the winds, between the rain, and if there was thunder, she probably would have heard it. Now, you notice I left the owner blank because the old cliche, who owns who? I really don't know in this relationship. Some days it's me. Most days, let's be honest, it's the dog, right? And today, a much better day overall for taking the dog out in a sense that we're not going to deal with any heavy-duty weather. It's worse in the sense that it's going to be cold, and with the breeze, it's going to feel like the 20s. So it is going to be chilly outside. You are going to need a jacket, but we're not going to have any type of real heavy-duty weather. We will be dealing with flurries and light snow, though, so consider that in mind. I don't think it's going to interrupt any of the dog walks today, but for some of us, it may just be rather, I would say, cool and uncomfortable. As for the rest of the area, we're not seeing any major issues when it comes to traffic. 70, 75, and 675, all looking good.
All right, digital producer Max is standing by now. We're not doing a poll question.
No, doing something a little different,
We're
right?
spicing it up.
Yeah, it's National
Spicy.
Cheese Day.
Spicy cheese day?
Yeah, pepper jack cheese day. No, it's just National Cheese Day.
Okay.
And I just wanted to ask you guys some fun trivia questions, see what you know.
Let's go.
Okay, let's start with the softball. What country eats the most cheese?
I'm going to go with France.
I was going to say Wisconsin, but that's not a country. I'm going to go with America.
Yeah, Nick?
America.
It's France.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
Yep. As a matter of fact, their favorite cheese is Camembert.
Okay, you also looked at the answers on his cell phone.
No,
I did not.
I have faith in him.
That's accusing.
Rigged.
There.
Where
just
was
like
the
food more than you.
first?
What?
Where was the first cheese factory made?
The first cheese factory was made in
France.
Switzerland.
Denmark. Switzerland, 1815.
You're so full of it.
This
You're
man
looking
knows
at
his
it. He does
cheese.
not.
I know, I'm just a cheese genius.
I like Wallace and Gromit, just loving your cheese.
That's right. Dude, Wallace
What
and
is the
Gromit.
next question? Move on.
Next.
Clay.
Okay, last question for today. For now, which fast food restaurant uses the most cheese?
Taco Bell.
McDonald's?
Wendy's.
You're gonna hate yourself.
Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut. It's a pizza place. Of course they use the most cheese.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
a
true,
fast
that's
food.
true.
Taco Bell.
I guess
I'm
it's
thinking nacho
considered
cheese.
fast food.
I'm thinking nacho cheese, brah.
Nacho cheese.
All those tacos, all that good stuff. Max, good stuff. Thanks for stopping by. And 2 out of 3 over here. Good stuff.
Whatever.
Our time right now is 6:27. Still to come.
Two organizations coming together to educate the community. I'll share how this morning.
Accused of kidnapping 2 babies, one woman coming back to Ohio. Just ahead, Mike McCarthy has the new charges she's facing and her return.
But first, here's Genevieve Gorder with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
You guys, I have a product that solves a pet peeve so many of us have when we jump in our car. The cup holder that isn't big enough to hold your cup, your water bottle, your coffee. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the solution. This is the Cup Captain from Sharper Image. It's a 2-in-1 cup holder that rotates 360 degrees and doubles your storage space. You just twist to fit any size cup holder right here, and it locks it in place so nothing will tip. Now, here's my favorite part. You know, you all have this water bottle that doesn't fit in the cup holder, and it rolls around on the ground, on your lap. It's annoying. This will adjust to fit large or small. So gone are the days of your water bottle falling on the floor and clanking around. This expands and contracts to fit any size cup, just right. And the great news is that it's not just for drinks. The Cup Captain is perfect for all kinds of things. It holds food containers, tablets right here, even your wallet. We all have these organizational systems for our desks, our nightstands, our kitchens, our closets. Why wouldn't we have that same approach to an area we spend so much time in? Our cars. It's perfect for kids in the back holding their snacks and their tablets. And we're offering 25% off today, you guys. And it's a 2-pack. To take advantage of this deal and save money, go to asadeals.com.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's 3 stories you're seeing on social. The music world remembering David Crosby of the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, and Nash. He was 81 years old.
And say hello to the oldest dog in the world, the new oldest dog in the world, Spike. Oh my goodness, 23 years old, and he's actually from Preble County, where he lives with his human, Rita Kimball. Shout out to Spike and Rita.
Yeah, I like that little chunker. He's so cute.
He's so cute.
He is so cute. Australian park rangers were shocked when they discovered Toadzilla.
Toadzilla.
They found this giant cane toad deep in the rainforest.
I don't want to know what they did to it. Can we just not talk about that part?
The 6-pound creature was removed from the park because it's
so sad.
Kind of an invasive species.
No, a threat to the ecosystem.
Which
You know what they did? Frog legs for dinner. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's worse than my last answer.
No, last time you were like, I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding?
We're equally bad.
We are terrible humans. All right, our top story this morning, the Columbus woman accused of kidnapping twin boys in a stolen car is now facing federal charges.
Mike McCarthy joins us now with a new twist in this case and when she could face a judge.
These federal charges now mean that Nala Jackson will face a judge right here behind me at the federal courthouse in downtown Columbus. This is something we are closely watching at this hour because this hearing could happen as soon as today. Federal prosecutors just announced yesterday they were going after Nala Jackson with these new kidnapping charges. She has been in custody in Indiana for the past several weeks and recently pled guilty to a charge there that she spit on an officer. The kidnapping charges are for the abduction of the Thomas twins just before Christmas. Columbus police told us the 5-month-old boys were left in a car that was running in the short north here in Columbus that Nala Jackson then stole. That led to a statewide Amber Alert. One boy was later found in your area, left in his car seat, abandoned in a parking lot there at the Dayton airport. Police then caught Nala Jackson about 2 days later in Indianapolis, and it was after her arrest the other boy was found, police say, still in that stolen car. Police tell us neither boy was hurt, and they are now back with their family here in Columbus. Overnight, we have been awaiting Nala Jackson's arrival at an Ohio jail. So far, we have not seen her put in a cell here in the state. We'll keep you updated when she arrives, and also we'll let you know what happens at that court hearing, likely in the coming hours. In the meantime, this morning, we already know if she is convicted of these federal charges, she could be sent to prison for the rest of her life. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Mike McCarthy. We'll send things back to you now in Dayton.
Storm damage last night left some cleaning up across the Miami Valley.
Look, it's a picture.
Oh, how about them
Look
apples?
at that. Were we supposed to be at the wall or were we supposed to be here?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Anyways, you're taking a live look at some of the storm damage
I think
that
we
happened
did find out.
At Patterson Road in Dayton. I'm just pretending like it's not there.
You're just going to ignore it. All right. Well, the street was shut down near Carillon Park as crews worked to remove the limb. So let's take a closer look at the weather this morning with meteorologist Nick Maruziak.
I was driving on Springboro Pike yesterday, and I happened to notice the fact that there was a pretty large tree that got knocked over. It did look like the center of it may have been diseased. So it's one of those cases where yesterday I mentioned the fact that there are 40, 50, 60 mile an hour winds. And when you do get those trees that are diseased, that may be weakened, those are the first to go. As for this morning, temperatures in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s. If you're putting kids on a bus this morning, it is quite cool, and we're not going to warm up. I mean, look at your 3 p.m. temperature, only in the mid-30s. This is, by and large, going to be some 20 degrees colder than yesterday. Of course, yesterday we did have the storms. Today, just a few flurries, but many of us will just be cloudy. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, haven't seen any issues on 675, 75, 70, 35 or 4.
Well, Haven Behavioral Hospital is now teaming up with local law enforcement to help with the opioid crisis throughout our area. And they want to connect people with the resources that they need.
Clara Faith joins us live from there this morning. And Clara, why is this event so important?
I'm here at Haven Behavioral Hospital of Dayton, and they tell me they want to help by educating people living in the Miami Valley. This event will feature 30 venues connecting people to resources they need to end addiction. Their focus will be mental health and substance abuse. Haven Behavioral Hospital says stopping the crisis from happening is just as important as treating it.
Well, because we're a crisis stabilization hospital, we see a lot of people come through in a crisis. So these other resources are ones that can help that before the crisis even happens.
There will be insurance sign up, legal, and more community services for residents. This event kicks off today at 9 a.m. and is free and open to the public. Reporting live in Dayton, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Centerville police taking to Twitter to warn against a new local phone scam. They say they've received several reports of someone posing as a Centerville officer. The caller ID lists the Centerville Police Department, and the person calling calls themselves Maria and provides badge number 113. If you get a call like this, officers say you should not engage and hang up immediately.
6:38 is our time right now. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Exciting news for a Springfield native just ahead, the newest addition for John Legend and Chrissy Teigen.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group. Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
These cool, calm, collected cats fascinated with the snowfall in Idaho. Boise being one of many places hit with winter weather Wednesday and Thursday. Meanwhile, Abilene, Texas had to deal with blowing dust instead of blowing snow. But in the Albany, New York area, a wintry mix of snow and sleet. And back in Las Vegas, a desert rainbow appears among the clouds.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning a vastly different morning than yesterday. Yesterday, if you recall, we were talking about how mild it was. At some point, I walked out here without a jacket. Now, this morning, I'm obviously out here in a jacket. I don't have gloves on, but I'll be honest with you, if I could, I'd be wearing a hat right now. It is quite a bit colder out here. Temperatures feel like they're in the 20s. It's just not particularly a fun morning to be outside. Now, that being said, this is kind of the rule rather than the exception this time of year. You see Greenville, 19 degrees is what it feels like. Dayton at 24. We're talking about some cold air in place, but that's to be expected, you know. This time of year, our average low is in the low 20s. We've just been, I'm going to use the term spoiled, if you will, in terms of the warm temperatures. We will be going back down to around average and then hanging out there all week. So get used to cold mornings like this one. And right now on the patio, I'll tell you what, that breeze, every time it comes up, it does make it feel quite cold out here.
All right, well, Chrissy Teigen via Instagram announcing the addition of a new baby girl to her family with husband and Springfield native, John Legend. Her name, oh, so cute, Esty Maxine Stevens. Stevens, of course, is Legend's legal surname. Esty joined siblings Luna and Miles in the family of 5. Teigen and Legend have been married now since 2013 after meeting on the set of one of his music videos. Now, you might remember Teigen lost to pregnancy in 2020 and then wrote about it in an emotional essay. The cookbook author says her house is full of love and the family could not be happier.
Those kids look just like their parents.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean, the girl is like spitting image of Chrissy, the boy is just like John.
It's the cutest. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that family, but I really, truly am.
Hey, you gotta love it.
I do, actually. Thank you.
Yeah. Our time right now, 6:44, getting ready for a Who Day weekend. Just ahead, Chelsea Sick is at Orchard Park with a special connection between 2 schools in Cincinnati and Buffalo.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
New this morning, a fourth grade classroom in Hamilton has a special bond with another classroom in Buffalo.
Man, there's a lot of connection between Cincinnati and Buffalo, right? It's kind of crazy.
You'll love to see it.
I know. It's a story you're going to only see right here, and Local 12's Chelsea Sick shows us how students are now turning a tragedy into something positive. Good morning, Chelsea.
Well, Elise and Nathan, good morning. Since we've got here to Buffalo, we've been talking about that connection between the Bengals fans and the Bills fans, especially since what happened to DeMar Hamlin. Now, some of the youngest in both communities are showing us that that connection has no age limit.
Oh, doing the gritty.
Dozens of kids in
Right now, the woman accused of kidnapping 2 babies from Columbus is now heading back to Ohio today to face federal charges.
Knowledge